Good evening, everyone. How is my favorite herd? We are doing punk games tonight, and I think this might be the most interesting. Most genres have kind of, a gradient. Horror has, from slasher films to psych horror and, various levels of horror. But I have to say that I think the Toxic Lord cyberpunk versus the heliopunk is probably going to be the widest range I've ever had, which is fabulous because that means there should be something from everyone. I want to welcome the chat and I want to welcome my guests here today. As always, we're going to start out with some intros. So, Brian, take it away. Oop, we don't have sound. We had sound a second ago. Quinn, can you hear him?
I can't hear him, no.
Okay, so this is not the EV Mux regular glitch. All right, Brian, I'm going to try taking you out of the scene and put you back in again, okay? Sometimes that works. Do we have sound now? We do
That
not.
looks like no.
I don't know.
No, we were here for 20 whole minutes and it was fine.
I know we were here 20 minutes and the sound was perfect. Okay, Brian, try signing out and sign back in again. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Turn. No, we aren't going to phrase it that way. That would be terrible. I was going to say turn Brian off, turn him back on again. All right, Quinn, you get to do intros first then.
All right. Works for me. I'm Quinn. I'm an independent RPG maker based in Colorado, and my base project is Heliosail, which is what I'm here to talk about today. I've been working on it for about 6 years, and I've made a couple of other smaller games here and there that people probably are not familiar with, but probably the most popular of those would be Black Friday the RPG. So
I did not know that. I thought Heliosail was your first. See, I learn something new every day.
Yep. It's funny enough, it's the one that I started working on first. And then I made a couple of others like while taking a break from it. So
maybe that's it. I thought I had remembered you saying something about it being your first project. So I guess maybe that's where I got that idea. All right, everyone cross your fingers.
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Yay!
That's crazy. All right, I'll go second, but I don't mean to.
I already went.
Yeah, she already went. You came back just in time. Perfect.
Okay. So I am Brian Shutter. Now that I have audio, I'm the writer creator of Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. It's essentially an 80s, 90s a vomit punk chainsaw RPG, kind of like if the Toxic Avenger and the Ninja Turtles were battling Guar and let's see who else. Like WWF from the 90s and 80s.
That is such a cool, really strong vibe.
I know.
Oh, thanks.
And the background and the hat match even.
Yeah, so I live my life in constant black light, so I don't know what the sun looks like.
I mean, I live my life in constant goatiness, so.
Oh, perfect.
I'll just a quick funny story before we start with the chat. I was once on someone else's stream, and one of the chat members made a comment about I was promised there would be nudity, so I changed my avatar to one of my actual goats. I said, "There you go. This is me with no clothes on."
That's hilarious.
And on that note, all right. How long has Toxic Lords been out? I know we actually, Quinn, we actually covered Heliosail when it was in Kickstarter.
But yeah, so first Kickstarter was 2020. So we are on our third printing.
Wow. You're putting out.
Yeah, I mean, we as in me. I'm the only person, but I like to say we, so it sounds like I'm a big company.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the royal. It's the royal we. It's the royal we.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, and then we got a bunch of other supplements and adventures out.
Nice. All right, we will hear more about it when we do the discussion proper. I want to say a quick hello to the chat. We have Legatus, one of our great mods here. We are quite certain that he is the actual god in the machine because he never seems to be offline. We have Hanayama-san, who is here. Might be the only thing we hear from him the entire time, but he is here. We have Jefferson Dunlap. I think that you are new here, so welcome. We are delighted to have you. I'm always excited when I hear names I don't recognize. So, the Neon Lord has bopped in to say hello. And Eric Willman is here to see the Neon Lord himself.
Jefferson and Eric are what we call neon maniacs. They are fans of the game. And
I feel like there should be a way to combine that.
neon maniacs? What do you mean?
Me,
Neoniac?
Oh, the one word? Neoniacs? That's
Yeah.
not that bad, actually. I kind of like it.
What's that called? Like a
I don't-
portmanteau, I think.
I think I would have to practice to say it though. It's like Hanayama-san's name. Like it took me ages, and even now I have to just say it really, really fast because otherwise I'm never going to get through it. Eraser is our Lynx master, and yes, Eraser blames EV Mux for everything, no matter whose fault. There is a snowstorm that knocks us out. Yeah, Eraser will make it EV Mux's fault.
Ooh, a substation blew up in my town the other day. Can that be Evie Mux's fault?
There you go. See? You're learning already. You and Eraser are going to get along great.
Excellent.
All right, and we have Peter Rooney, who is also here for the Neon Lord. And more people are still kind of trickling in, but we're going to get started. We do have a hard deadline tonight, so chat, make sure you throw your. I know normally people kind of hold questions for the end. Jefferson Dunlap would like 1 day of snow. I would like only 1 day of snow. Could I send you the rest of ours?
Same. You can have mine too.
I'll take some.
I'm over snow.
Really,
this
I
year.
assumed Colorado would be, at
We're-
least a little snowy.
We're having such a warm winter. I think we've only had like maybe a week total of snow days all winter so far.
Our last snowstorm was 15 inches,
Wow.
and we're averaging 2 or 3 a week. So, so you can work from home. Ah, I see. Method to the madness. All right. So we are going to get started. But yes, make sure that you throw your comments in the chat as they come up today. I know that's a little bit not the normal pattern here, but we want to make sure that we don't have one of those days where we run over 10 or 15 minutes because everybody's busy today. So, all right, Quinn, since you are now in the clockwise rotation, take it away.
All right. Well, I'm here today mostly to talk about Heliosail, which is a solarpunk RPG. Solarpunk, for the uninitiated, is similar to any of the punk genres. You've got kind of steampunk and cyberpunk all have these very strong aesthetics associated with them. For solarpunk, that's rooted in kind of Art Nouveau aesthetics, and also obviously sustainable technology is a really big thing. One of my favorite things about solarpunk in general that I definitely incorporated into the game is a mix of high and low technology. Because there's such an emphasis rather on sustainability, you see in solarpunk media, and also it's also kind of a social movement, which I can get into in a second, but you really see a lot of like older, more sustainable ways of doing things coming back around. So Heliosail is actually a sci-fi game. So one of the ways I incorporated that was with the weaponry, because in my mind I'm like, okay, you don't really want guns in space because decompression everywhere. um, so there are some guns in the game, but I kind of rolled them back technology-wise to more of a flintlock style, and you see a lot more swords, and the whole thing is like a golden age of piracy. Um, so it's kind of sci-fi, golden age of piracy. It's a very like pulp forward game, which is something that ironically I've only like really realized about it in the last couple of weeks. Um, so if you like kind of the pulpy genres, it will probably be for you. Um, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, solar punk as a social movement. So it's kind of funny because I started working on Heliosail about 6 years ago, after I had been exposed to the idea of solar punk as kind of more of a literary and aesthetic movement, and I thought that was super cool. And then I kind of went into my designer hidey hole, and when I emerged, it had really become more of this like social environmental justice movement. And here I am with my game, and I'm like, this was perfect for 5 years ago. Um, but is what it is. Um, and as a social movement, it really does focus a lot on climate justice is obviously a huge thing, but also social justice of various kinds, kind of wrapped up into that. The idea that like all humans can live sustainably in peace with the earth and in peace with each other. Yeah.
Do you have visuals for us? Do you have I don't know if there's a physical copy of the book yet, or
I have a preprint of the book right here next to me. So the
if you can
cover was
back it up just a little bit, the shine is perfect. There we go.
there we go. The
I
cover was
loved that.
done.
I
Oh,
love that picture. That was one of the things that kind of attracted me to it when you had the Kickstarter going. So
yeah, my good friend Maria in Germany did the cover art for it, as well as a lot of the art that appears in the book itself. And she's one of those like polymaths. Like she's an amazing artist and just got her PhD in chemistry. And I'm like, save some talent for the rest of us. Like,
I have heard that art and math tend to be very closely related skills, which would explain why I have neither of them. Now is this book is this like a one shot, like it has the player and the GM, and will there be other supplements? Will there be, I don't know how a bestiary would work with something like that.
yeah, it's meant for long form campaign play, but it is of that kind of familiar structure where you do have a GM and then several players. And I recently did crowdfunding for it, and there's 2 adventures that were part of the initial crowdfund, and then now that it's in late pledge, I actually got some guest writers to write 2 more. Um, so right out of the gate, people can get it with 4 adventures of kind of various lengths to get them started. And originally, it actually does have creatures because it is an adventure game, and so there are like creature stat blocks and that sort of thing. But originally, those were not going to be included in the book, and actually, like surprise announcement just for everybody who is here, I'm going to be delaying my like printing just a little bit in order to put all of the stat blocks that I've made so far into the book, so people don't have to go to another place to find those. I have the opportunity to do it, and I think that that's just going to be really nice for everybody all around.
And you have a downloadable version of it on Itch.io right now, right?
Yes, there is a downloadable version on Itch.io and on DriveThru. It is the last, like, not quite finished. There's been some minor changes that have been made since then, but it was kind of my like preview version, and that is still up, and it will remain up until I send the like final to print, and then I will update all of that everywhere.
It's the beta.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it looks like you're asking $1, so that definitely seems fair.
It's actually like technically free. I think it's free on drive-through.
Oh,
But
is it?
on yeah, and there's tons of community copies if you like scroll down on itch, so you can get it for free. But I had to put it at a price point because I had a major problem where a bunch of people downloaded it, but because it was marked as free on itch, there was no way for me to get in touch with them when I like updated it or wanted to tell them about the Kickstarter or like any of that, which was a little bit of a personal disaster. So so I switched it so that it like says it's $1 and then people can tip me if they want, but then um there's the
So it's
community
kind of
copies
it's
they
kind
can
of a
sell.
pay what you want sort of.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Um, this is the drive-through link for anyone who's interested. Um, I'm a little bit mad at Itch.io about their caving to the credit card companies. So
That's fair.
it's not like, yeah, I know, Eraser. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten a link up before you. Um, so tell me a little bit about the world in your game. Like, other than the fact that it looks like a giant greenhouse.
Yeah. Um so it takes place in our solar system, and it's explicitly kind of a vision of a possible future for us starting where we are now. A very important part of the lore is that we failed to stop the worst of climate change in kind of what would be our current present. And then in the world of Heliosail, humanity has adapted a lot technologically and is kind of there is this undertone of hope of like going back and this idea that we can go back and fix those mistakes. And that's kind of happening in the backdrop of whatever your individual characters decide to do. Um, and also the our solar system not our solar system, I'm sorry, our universe collided with another universe, and now there's aliens that are all from this other universe that I call the Nether. And so that brings in a lot of that kind of pulp adventure aspect to it as well.
Can't have sci-fi without aliens.
Yep.
Um, I want to take a quick break. I just want to thank Goofus the Doofus for a 7.99 Australian donation. Um, we are currently saving our pennies to go to Page next year, so memberships and donations are really, really helpful. So thank you very much. Sorry.
No worries.
Greenhouses and aliens. Yeah, there we go. Eraser's got it. Greenhouses and aliens.
Basically, yeah, it definitely there's plants everywhere, and they're all kind of worked into the technology that makes space travel possible. There is, I think, actually on the cover art here, you can see there's this kind of android.
Hmm.
You can't see it super well here, but all the complex robots have terrariums inside of them that are actually an important part of the mechanical mechanism, kind of lore wise. Um, and same thing for like if you're on a spaceship, you need life support, right? You need like water recycling and oxygen generation, and all of that is achieved through these kind of um, I don't quite want to call it biotech because I think that brings to mind a fleshier kind of technology,
Hmm.
whereas this is much more plant based. But that's effectively what it is.
Are you by any chance a Babylon 5 fan?
I've never heard of Babylon 5.
Oh,
I know you're gonna learn. I'm the person in the friend group who has never seen or heard of anything. Um,
Eraser, it's okay. Take a deep breath. Count to 10. Eraser and I are both fanatics. Babylon 5 is a sci-fi show from the 90s. Um, and several of the alien races have organic technology for their ships. But the humans have sort of standard technology, but a lot of the air recycling is done through the fact that they have these giant greenhouses that provide both air and food and water.
that's awesome.
And Eraser says in Valen's name, I'm not going to cry. And Jefferson says he's fainting.
Oh no,
So yes, you should you should check it out.
I definitely
Uh,
should.
this is a so I will say it was a 90s show, so you can tell from some of the CGI. Though interestingly, they pumped so much money into it at the time that it was considered really good then, but not anymore. But the storyline is amazing. So Matt Funcool says, and I suspect it's because we tend to say, well, the hard part of making a game is X. So he says, what is the easy part of creating a game?
Oh boy. um, I mean, to me, I think the easy part is just coming up with the basic, like the cool stuff you want to put into it. That's the easy part. It's figuring out how to put the cool stuff in that's hard.
Yeah, that makes sense. I always try and tell people that, writing a game is like part writing a novel and part writing a research manual because you have to be able to find stuff easily.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of math. There's so much math.
Yeah, I'm not good at math.
I
Uh,
didn't used to be. And then I made a
Eric,
game and now I'm okay at it.
well, that's one way to do it. I got through statistics by playing a lot of poker, so
Nice.
if you want to get good introduction to the solar punk genre that really kind of got the ball rolling back in the day, check out the book Sunbold: Stories of Solar Punk and Eco Speculation. Have you read this?
I have not.
Great starting solar punk book because it's a collection of easy to digest short stories in the genre. Well, there we go. For everyone in the chat that is not familiar with solar punk and is interested in your game, they can check out some short stories and figure out if it's their cup of tea.
I'll have to look for that at my local library, see if they've gotten a copy.
Yes, Goofus reminds me that they also there is always one person growing illegal coffee on Babylon 5. Welcome to Christopher Hunter. Haven't seen you for a little bit. Good to see you. There is now a raging Babylon 5 discussion going in the chat. So you say that there are aliens. Can you play the aliens, or do you just play the humans?
You can play the aliens. There's actually 3 playable races. So the alien they're called sirens. And they are, I made all of the playable races humanoid for what I would hope would be obvious reasons. It just makes it easier all around. But sirens are kind of vampiric space mermaids, I guess is the best way to describe them.
Vampiric space mermaids. I'm
So
intrigued.
it definitely brings some inspiration from kind of a mix of like, the Greek myth concept of sirens that lure sailors and have this song. But then also there is this vampiric element where they have to consume blood or flesh, kind of any uncorrupted DNA, um, in order to stay healthy. The lore behind that is that because they are from the other universe, they are really susceptible to like the background radiation of our universe, and that's kind of one of the ways that they cope. I'm also kind of really glossing over it, but they are. My brain just went blank. They are adaptive predators, and so their bodies kind of change the shape to match whatever they happen to be eating.
They're aliens, like capital A aliens.
Yeah. So the ones that you can play in the game are kind of vaguely humanoid, with the idea being that they are mostly feeding on humans. But honestly, like, if people wanted to take that and run with it and do their own thing, then more power to them. I would love to see what they come up with. And then the other one is the Anthroparians, which is like the android race that has the plants inside of them I showed a picture of earlier.
Do you think that in the future you might have like supplements kind of fleshing those races out more?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I At the moment I'm like really swamped with trying to like ship from the crowdfunding and all of that, but I have so many ideas for like more adventures that I'm going to put out and supplements and that kind of thing. And one of the like major first supplements that I want to do is actually going to explore anthroparians a lot more. They come from manufacturing facilities that were on space stations that orbited Venus, and I have done pretty much no world building yet in that area. So that's really what I want my first supplement to be. And I'm considering having like effectively like sub races or something of anthroparians as part of that, and a lot of other content that I haven't fully developed, but I'm really excited about.
Cool. How does combat work in your game?
Combat is it uses something called the Spotlight Initiative system, which I was gifted by another designer. So I cannot take credit for it, but it is very excellent. Basically, you don't roll for initiative. Instead, when someone attacks, that is the opening move of the first round, and then it kind of popcorns. So if you attack someone or you heal someone, it becomes their turn. So anytime you do something that affects someone else, basically, it then becomes their turn, and then they can act. And I also took a little bit of inspiration from Pathfinder's combat in terms of like having a number of actions on your turn, and like certain attacks or actions that have a bigger impact require more than one action to perform. But overall, it really suits the way that Heliosail is a little bit more kind of pulpy plot focused than it is combat focused, so you can kind of slide in and out of combat as required pretty easily.
Is it a little bit like what Daggerheart went with?
I admit to not having I haven't read Daggerheart yet, so
Oh, I haven't either. I've watched several videos on it.
I'm behind on
And
it.
for
I assumed they
and
used
for
like
and
a
for other reasons decided it was probably not for me. So
fair
I
enough.
probably won't read it, but
I just assumed it was a fixed initiative system, so I don't know.
I don't think it is. I think it's I might be getting it confused with something else, but I think they actually even call it a spotlight system in that
Mm.
if you have a cool cinematic move, it's just your turn.
That makes sense because the designer I got that, I want to shout out his name real quick because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Seamus Allen is the designer who is behind the Spotlight system. And I'm in several like designer Discord groups with him, and he offers that up to pretty much anybody who is stuck with their combat system. Absolutely like great on his part, wonderful contribution.
So are they kind of standard? I mean, this you said this is a sustainable technology type thing. Are
Mhm.
we talking biotechnology weapons, or are they kind of what we would think of as weapons?
They're more like what you would think of as weapons. Um, there is I haven't done like tons of thought into the like nitty gritty of how the actual like guns work, but a lot of the weapons are melee weapons, so you know, swords and daggers and things like that. Um,
Um, so we've kind of gone forward for space technology, but reverse on what we would consider certain other things.
yeah, and that kind of plays into what I was saying kind of back at the beginning about how solarpunk has this interesting mix of both high technology and like really advanced technology, and then less advanced things. And the weapons made a lot of sense to me because uh, you wouldn't want to fire a modern gun like on a space station or in a spaceship, because you can cause decompression, and that's actually a risk that you take if you do decide to use any of the firearms in the game. If you have a critical failure on your attack roll and you are in a spaceship, you will cause decompression, which adds a little bit of spice to the choice to do that.
We have had a whole lot of people flood in. I just want to say I have to go back a ways in order to catch everybody here, I think. I think Dadman was the first one to come in, stopping by to say hello. Um, Ben popped in. Rachel popped in. I've been trying to say hellos as they came in, but And we have Molly who says, I played a game with a similar attack concept. You could chain like crazy if you played your cards right. It was a lot of fun. It's very cool to have somebody who's like played a similar system pop in the chat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Blackwater, welcome. I was mentioning you in the game stream this morning. We are talking about Heliosail, which is a solar punk game. And we are going to be covering Cyberpunk shortly. I feel like I missed somebody. Who did I miss? No, I guess I didn't miss it. All right. If I missed you, I am very sorry. I attempted to go through, but the chat is moving fast enough that it keeps jumping up every time I try and go back to look and see who was there before. Who was there before? Yes, Blackwater. I did a short gaming stream this morning. And we were I can't remember why you came up in conversation. I think it was the fact that I was doing my non-swearing swearing that you find so amusing. Oh shoot, I had another question. I think Legatus had a question too. Hang on a second. Now I got to back up so I can find Legatus's question. If you ask to use another's combat system, so long as you get approval or give them credit, is it all good to go?
Yeah, absolutely. In this case, Seamus volunteered it to me a number of years ago when I was really struggling with the combat system. But at least in the United States, you can't actually copyright game mechanics. Only like game terms and then like characters and story ideas and stuff. So you technically, like legally, don't even have to ask permission, although it is kind of good polite form to do so. But yeah, that designer, Seamus Allen, recommended this combat system. I did a couple of tweaks from like his original version for the version that ended up in Heliosail, and he did ask that I credit him in the book, so he is in there on the licensing page with all the other credits as well.
Yeah, Weird Al does not have to ask to parody your song, but he generally considers it polite.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, was that I don't think you can actually copyright. This is why TSR copyrighted things like Dungeon Master, because they couldn't actually copyright the rules to Dungeons and Dragons. So
Yep.
that's why we have Castles and Crusades.
It's why it was so funny when people were really angry about Candela Obscura. That was a surreal day for me, because I saw all these people who were not regulars in the game design world suddenly coming in and being really mad that Candela Obscura was using effectively Blades in the Dark mechanics, and I'm like, they're allowed to do that. No one's mad about this on the designer side. Like,
well, but I suspect it's probably one of the same things. Like it's considered rude. But isn't Blades in the Dark on Powered by the? I thought it was a Powered by the Apocalypse game.
I don't think it was Powered by the Apocalypse. I think it emerged out of something else. But it made enough differences, like in its mechanics now, that stuff that's based on Blades of the Dark now goes by Forged in the Dark. Kind of like Powered by the Apocalypse is like based on Apocalypse World. So
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot of games, and it gets to the point where almost everything I'm like, this sounds really familiar. I've seen this before.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Actually, your game I find pretty interesting. I thought so. There's a game called Asunder, which is about a world where there's no metal, and so like all protective gear and weapons and everything else are made out of bioengineering and plants. And I kind of expected something like that from your game. And so it's been really cool to actually see that there's instead this kind of combo of technologies and old and new and plant and metal and everything else. So
yeah, I've definitely slipped a little bit of biotech in there. There's a suit of armor that you can get that is made of plants, and becomes more powerful in the sun. And electronic timber is one of my personal like tiny lore nuggets that I really like, which is basically like I'm just gonna nerd out about science now. So there's a real thing happening in science right now today. You can go look up that is growing wires into plants. And basically, how it works is you put, like, if you cut a stem of a flower and you put it in water, it draws the water up, right? So you do that, but you put in like a copper alloy solution into the water. And then when it draws it up, it forms a very, very thin wire inside its water channel. And this does not harm the plant at all, but can conduct electricity. So I took that idea and thought, what if they did the interiors of ships with electronic wood? So basically the wires are just grown into the wooden panels around you, and you don't have to like go in and wire stuff separately. I learned.
That is a very cool idea. I mean, all I've seen are, the plants that are waving machetes around. So
I also love those. I've learned so much weird, cool science studying up for this game. So
yeah, research is the weirdness of research is fabulous.
absolutely.
Do you get plant powers?
I don't have any plant powers in the game, unfortunately. Although that is a very cool idea. I might borrow for some future supplement.
I sense a new alien race coming up.
Yeah. Right now, there's kind of only two sources of magic, and only one of them is really flavored as magic. The other is kind of flavored as technology. So there's a bunch of physics powers that are heavily inspired by the Mass Effect games, and that is one of the classes can do that. And the idea is that they were exposed to the other universe, the Nether, and so they're kind of applying the rules of physics from this other universe to our universe, and as a result they can do biotics stuff basically. So make people float, create radio waves. There's all kinds of really cool stuff there. And then the other form of magic is flavored as technology, and that does have some planty stuff in it, because it's themed around healing and also terraforming. But like mechanically in the game, it's really about kind of area control. So you can make it rain or make plants grow in an area, or things like that.
All right, this question is going to cause another ruckus in the chat.
Okay.
Jefferson Dunlap says, "Have you heard of the displacement activated spore hub or dash drive in Star Trek Discovery?"
Oh no, I'm gonna make your chat hate me. I have only ever seen one episode of Star Trek, and it was the episode with the Tribbles.
I mean, honestly, considering how people feel about Discovery on average, that might be the safest. Yeah.
So I have not heard of
Discovery was canceled for a reason.
that.
All right, Brian, I am going to back this up in case you have any questions so that everyone can be on screen. I feel like I'm yapping way too much. Do you have questions about the solar punk?
I don't, but it sounds pretty cool. I like the idea of the plant robots. That's pretty neat.
It does it feel like a very far distance from?
Yeah, it's going to be funny to transfer over to my game because it's completely different and it's awesome. Like that, it's so different. Not that mine's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm sure yours is awesome. I'm really excited to hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're both on the show because I thought you both sounded awesome. Both your games sounded awesome. So,
Thank you.
Jefferson.
Jefferson is one of my favorite people in the whole planet. So it's great to see him in there.
It's okay. He can be a wonderful person and still be wrong.
Jefferson could do no wrong.
That's okay. Some of my favorite pieces of media are things that the rest of the world decided were really bad. So
trust me, you have no idea.
Yeah, I say all the time that like we make the mistake of saying that good and bad are the same thing as enjoyable and unenjoyable. Uh, there's movies out there that I know are really well made, but they're not my cup of tea. They're good movies, but I don't find them enjoyable.
Mm.
There are
Yeah.
also terrible movies that I absolutely love, and my example always is Monster Squad. It is
Well, Monster
it is
Squad is a masterpiece, though. That's the problem.
it's not though. It is not. It is very enjoyable. It is very funny. It is not a good movie.
Two of my favorite movies are Cutthroat Island and The 13th Warrior, both of which were career-ending flops.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy to think too, because they're both really awesome as well. Like Cutthroat Island is like Pirates of the Caribbean before Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I haven't seen Cutthroat Island, but 13th Warrior was a flop. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's like
I don't
Beowulf
I
on
don't know
steroids.
anyone I don't know anyone who doesn't really
Right.
enjoy that
That's
movie.
The
it's
guy. Oh,
no. Go ahead. You're good.
I was just gonna say the guy who played the translator at the beginning of 13th Warrior hated that movie so much and was so embarrassed to be in it that he took it off of his CV.
Dang, that's crazy.
I unironically love Rubber.
Or is it?
Is that the one with the
Oh,
tire?
the tire. Yeah.
The tire.
Yes. This is my people. Like, yeah, Mac and Me's like one of my favorite movies of all time. If you ever
Monster
seen.
Squad is so good, so bad it's good, like Goonies in a way. I think honestly, I think Goonies was better written, but I think Monster Squad is more fun.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's also a lot more risque. At some point, I want to do a topic panel on the difference between what was considered PG when I was a kid versus what is considered PG now.
Yeah, I mean,
Like like the teenage boy taking pictures of the teenage girl and then blackmailing her with them.
well, I mean, Revenge of the Nerds, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
the
That
ultimate.
wasn't PG though, was it?
It wasn't R though. Well, maybe it was.
I feel like it was.
Well,
But
even
also,
the
I
fact
haven't seen it. I've only heard about it, so
that
maybe I'm off base there.
Man, we need to make you a you're okay, everyone. This is like we have to take Yarn Witch's movies she needs to watch and we need to like transpose this to Quinn because man is she missing out.
I told you, I'm the one that's never seen or heard of anything.
Ghostbusters is PG and was actively advertised as a kids movie and has a blowjob scene.
it does a spectral blowjob scene.
Yeah, it's a ghost,
Gremlins
so it doesn't count.
True.
Gremlins was PG.
Yes.
The Goonies was PG. That's not really
Oh,
surprising.
yeah. I was Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck was PG. And that is Big is PG, which if you can get past the woman making it with a 10-year-old. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was PG. Poltergeist was PG.
That's nuts.
I feel
Yeah.
like Poltergeist shouldn't have been PG just because that traumatized an entire generation.
Oh, so
Agreed.
did Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That didn't
Yeah, but
traumatize me, but I was a very weird child.
but that scene. Well, it didn't me either. But that scene with the judge there when he has the weird eye rolling thing. There are a lot of kids upset by that.
I can understand. Yeah, that's like when he gets flattened, right? So, oh, spoilers for Roger Rabbit.
Or is that when he gets dipped in the?
Look, if it is older than 10 years, you do not have to give a spoiler warning.
Well, what was Batman Returns rated? Because I know that was like a huge ordeal for kids too. When like the penguin bites the guy's nose off and stuff.
Sorry, I missed the end of that sentence. Say that again.
Oh, when the penguin bites the guy's nose off.
I don't remember that. Oh wait, do I remember that?
I don't know.
Somebody's saying Revenge of the Nerds was rated R.
Yeah, I was thinking. I
Wow.
thought it was PG-13, but now that I think about it,
Well, I don't think PG-13 existed at that point in time. I think it was like
It-
1986 or something that it even came into existence.
Yeah, Jeff
It wasn't
in
it,
the chat saying that Gremlins is one of the reasons that PG-13 was a category that existed.
Yeah, wasn't it like one of the Indiana Jones movies too, or was it? I don't know.
Yeah, Temple of Doom, Gremlins, and then there was one other movie that resulted in.
Is
the
Temple of
PG.
Doom the one where the guy sticks his hand in the hole and then something horrible happens to him?
Oh well, that's the one where he sticks his hand in the guy's chest and pulls his heart out.
No, there was like
Yep, that was rated PG, folks.
wow. All I know is like there's
I think they eat brains too. I'm pretty sure they eat.
Yeah, chilled monkey brains.
Yeah.
well,
Was
you know, they're monkeys, so it's fine.
was Carnival PG? No, Carnival was very, very. In fact, one of the reasons Carnival did not do well was that they had to have it on at like 1 o'clock in the morning. The only reason I ever was introduced to Carnival, or Carnival, if you want to be technical, is because I was a terrible insomniac during that period of time and worked nights.
Was that like the HBO show?
Yeah.
We
Yep,
call it
I did a
Carnivale to
shows.
annoy
My
people.
first run of shows you've never seen was on Carnival.
Interesting.
Temple of Doom is trash. Wow, we just have the hot takes going in the chat today.
I mean, it's the worst
That's
of
one of
the
yours too.
Oh, it is.
worst
No.
of the original 3 for sure.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say it was the worst of the Indiana Jones movies. And I was gonna say
No. We know that is the one with the
no. No, actually, that's not
Skull.
true. There were only 3 Indiana Jones movies, so
That's what
therefore, yes, it is the.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
Carnival was
loved the
great.
Indiana Jones movies as a kid, but I haven't seen them in years, but I know that there's a scene from one of them where somebody sticks his hand in, or maybe it's from the Mummy. It's like something traumatized me as a child where somebody stuck their hand like in a hole in a wall and then something horrible happened to him, and now I like don't like to reach into places where I'm gonna touch something and I don't know what it is, like those Halloween feely boxes. I hate that.
Well, that's Dune.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's the actual box, but are you're not thinking of The Thing, are you?
No, I never saw The Thing.
Okay. Because that's got a scene where they try and like start some guy's heart and they stick the paddles on him and then his whole chest opens up and like bites both the guy's arms off.
Yeah.
Amazing. No, did not see that, but
It's worth a watch for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt says he never saw the movie. Which movie?
Yeah, it's like 20 movies been talked
Temple
about.
of Doom is still better than Dial of Dysentery. Yes, the thing is amazing. Speaking of sidetracked, which I told you we almost never do.
it's my fault. I'll take the blame for that.
No,
No.
it is. This has happened on. So there's another stream friend of the channel, Yarn Witch. Also has not. There are many movies she has not seen. And it's just that the people in our chat tend to love movies enough that there is this immediate, here is everything you need to watch right now. Turn your camera off, go turn the TV. Yeah, Eraser says I'm good. Yeah, I really ruined a lot of shows for Eraser by showing him Carnival because now he compares all of them to Carnival. He's like Carnival was better, except Babylon 5. All right. So, Quinn, is there anything else that we should know about your game, or should we?
I think we checked all of the big boxes. I'm really excited to hear about Brian's game. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Neon Lord.
so Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland is essentially the TLDR of it is a I can't think now, a vomit punk more than cyberpunk or anything else. We like to go vomit punk on it. There's 2 games with that title. It's us and Dungeons Degenerates, the board game by Sean Auberg. If you've never played that, it's very fun, very vomity, very punky. But
Okay, now you're gonna have to explain Vomit Punk because.
so vomit punk is essentially would be like over the top colors, graphics, like 90s in your face marketing and all that stuff, kind of like that.
It's
oh, my brains went
cyberpunk.
somewhere much grosser. So I appreciate the clarification.
Oh yeah, no, so it's not like literally like vomit.
So it's cyberpunk mixed with Morkborg.
Yeah, that would be a good way to do it. Yeah, so we're cyberpunk with a little bit of it's more like post-apocalyptic cassette futurism is kind of like what we like to go with. So it's like Total Recall. You always see like it's supposed to be in the future, but they're using CRT TVs and VHSs and stuff. So that's kind of like the aesthetic that we have. It's like it's far flung future, but the aesthetics are like 80s and 90s. It's kind of so like the big thing is that the neon wars of 92 happen and obliterates the world and turns it into like a post-apocalyptic setting, but this is like millions of years into the future, but they still keep the idea like the aesthetics of the 80s and 90s into the future where aliens show up and magic comes back and chaos comes in and all this stuff, but it still has the look and feel of the 1980s with a little bit of technology and magic mixed in.
I like that we both have this, like, it's in the future, but there's archaic technology kind of going on.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of cool to see that kind of mixed together. So I didn't come prepared, but I did manage to scrounge up the first printing of the book. So that's like the first
Ooh.
Neon Lords printing. I
Oh
had one
man,
floating
I
around.
want I want that just for the cover.
Oh yeah, the original cover was very cool. So then, essentially, you are a scum dog, and you pretty much have to take jobs, whatever you can, to survive and make tokens, is what we call gold pieces. So you can do that in many different ways. Generally, you can work for the Detroit Prime government, which is the mega city that a lot of people live in. Working for them to do jobs that they deem like too dirty for the government to do is a lot of times is like what games I like to do. But the beauty of Neon Lords is you don't have to play it like that. So you can play it in the mega cities and do like a cyberpunk style game, or you can go out into the mutated wastelands, and do like a Mad Max style game. And then there's like some space. So I do have one of the supplements. So one of them, it's called Space Bulk. So it's essentially in space. There's derelict, interdimensional, whatever, like space truckers, right? That they hit these chaos warps, like 40K, and they come out of it all combined with other planets and other ships and stuff, and make these giant space bulks that you can fly up to and have adventures in there as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's kind of a lot going on.
All right, you have a question. Would you say? Here we go. Would you say Vast Grim is vomit space punk?
I would say that. I'll ask Brian, the other Brian, but I would definitely put Vomit Space Punk as Vasgrim.
Yeah, Eraser. I told Lord Toxic that you were talking shit about him. We do in fact have a Lord Toxic who is
Oh,
a
that's funny.
friend of the channel. So Eraser said that we needed to tell him that your game existed.
Oh, well, there's plenty of room for more lords. I am the Neon Lord, so that works out.
Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Yes.
Yep,
Matt says trucker. I think that's supposed to be truckers in space, but maybe
probably.
not.
I like a good
Either way,
trucker. I like a
I
good
was gonna
trucker in
say
space.
I was gonna say either way. I do love a good space trucker, Firefly esque.
Yeah, absolutely. Space Truckers is a good movie as well.
Somebody said part. Jefferson said part original 40K Rogue Trader, part Judge Dredd, part WWF.
Yep,
Nice.
nailed it. Yep, the original Rogue Trader book. I am going to be buried with my copy. It's like my favorite book of all time.
Oh wait, I'm being told that there are minis.
There are minis. I don't think I have one here. I'm not prepared for this. I'm like kind of don't really work up here in the winter because there's no heat up here. That's a long story, but I have most of my stuff downstairs. But there is one mini. It is you probably can't see it. I'm
If
bad.
you pull it back a little bit, it will be less blurry. There you go.
There we
Perfect.
go.
So it is a Brudicorn. They are bicorns, magical, half cybernetics, half unicorn. That they like to use shotguns and magic.
Awesome.
It's
I
one of.
am.
That was such a combination of words. I need a second
know.
to digest it.
So the big thing is we don't do race. It's classes race. So like each class has its own kind of rad abilities that you can spend class points to do, and then each class has their own critical hit table, which we call to the max. So if you roll a 20 to hit, then you roll on the to the max table, and each class has their own like flavorful table.
I am married to a minis addict.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we do a lot of minis. There actually we have a skirmish game too, based on the Forbidden
Oh
Psalms rule
no.
set. It is called Violence Action Cash Prizes. It's pretty fun.
I am simultaneously going, "Up, I know what he's getting for his birthday," and oh God, we don't have space for any more minis games.
Is he? Does he know? Has he played Space Gits? I know I'm talking about somebody else's game, but Space Gits is awesome. I highly recommend it. But
I, I seriously cannot keep track at this point.
yeah, I mean,
He
I'm the
he
same way.
loves. This
I'm
is
a
a guy who spends $200 on a board game so he can take the minis out, and throw the board game away.
oh no, yeah. I mean, I at least keep the board game, but like, I always justify it. Like, we could play the game and use the minis. But now that we do our own minis, I don't have to worry about it. So we just make our own.
I will say I have swiped some of the minis out of his board games to run role playing games, but I always put them back.
Yeah, yeah. You got to put them back for sure. I have the Big Trouble Little China board game. I like to use those minis and
Violence
adventures.
Action Cash Prizes is dope. Okay. Eraser, can you find me a link?
That's a good question. I don't even know if I would even know the link because
That's all right.
speaking.
Eraser also lives in the machine and therefore knows all.
Perfect. Because it's based on Squirmish as well. Like we were talking about Vasker and Brian. It's based on his skirmish game, which is based on Forbidden Psalm.
So I forgot to ask Quinn, so I will ask you, what's the dice system like?
Dice system is your standard array of nerd rocks. So
Do I get to be a dice goblin? Or is it just one set?
No. So you can have as many as you want realistically because we do advantage disadvantage, but we talk about copywriting game mechanics. We do not use the term advantage disadvantage. It is surge and sludge. So you can have more than one d20. But yeah, then you got your. So we also have the d66 tables. A lot of d66 tables where you roll 2d6. One is your tens, and one is your ones. So you can have more than one d6.
So it's the percentiles only with sixes?
Yes. So you could have an 11, an 11 to 66 with obviously like you can't get like a 37.
That's
such a cool idea.
Well, I'm thinking it's sort of so outside the box, but it seems to fit the aesthetic of this game quite well. Once I think about it for a minute.
Yeah. So it is weird how it all kind of like it's like the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich you've ever had, right? It just like perfectly combines in all the right ways.
All right. Jefferson Dunlap says, I love the critical hit system so much. So now you have to give me more details about the critical hit system.
Oh, well, perfect. Yeah, so generally like I was saying, I can pull it up. So let's do it live on air. You are a Heather, which is
I'm sorry, I'm a what?
A Heather is your class. Let me pull up the Heather real quick, my favorite class of the game. That's why I'm using it. So they are chemically enhanced super soldiers from Vietnam to the Revenge. And then they've been reenacted in the the gnarly age is what the age we're in right now in Neon Lords. So you just hit a mutant. You rolled a 20. So roll me another d20. I'm assuming you have dice sitting right next to you.
Our game room is actually downstairs, but that's what the internet is for.
Oh, I've got some dice for you. I could do it.
Oh well, there you go. You can be the dice roller then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then you just
I hate electronic dice.
So yeah, I have a
4.
4. So if you can't accessorize, pulverize. The attack deals some totally lush damage, dealing an additional 1d4. So there you go. On top of your regular damage, you dealt an additional 1d4.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so every class gets a different crit
Yes.
table?
Every class has their own crit table, and then every creep or monster, as we call them, they have their own crit tables as well, but they're simplified. So, like, if a creep, like a bugbear, to the maxes, he gets a 1 to 19 or a 20. Like a 20/20 is like pretty much like you're dead. So it's kind of like they have their own little flavorful just 2 results, but because you really can't like do a ton of different to the max tables for monsters.
Well, coming up with like filling in stuff like tables, or for my game it was feats was the big one. Just it gets so hard. It's like the first 100 are easy, and then after that.
Yeah, I don't know. Nowadays, like I make so many tables all the time, like because I do a Patreon as well, and so like I'm always doing a table. Oh yeah, and then the total bummer. But so like tables are easy to me nowadays. I'll just like whip up a table just to start my day, really. Because like I always
coffee and a table. Huh?
yeah, like a big writing thing for me is I like to make something like quick and easy to kind of just like get the juices flowing and then move on to like a project.
I really liked the graphic on that. You said you don't do classes; they're just like
No,
whatever this.
don't race is class.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I was trying to think of. What are some of the other races?
So, yeah. So we have the Bruticorn, which we talked about, is the half bicorn, half machine, all attitude. So they are like bicorn gangers who get cybernetically enhanced and take to the life of scumdogging. We got a cosmic barbarian. So they are our barbarian class that snorts cosmic dust to get high and go into a barbarian rage.
What color is the
Lord
dust?
Randy be praised.
Rainbow dust.
Excellent.
Rainbow colored. The only way to do it. We got the cyber skins, which are cybernetic Ronald Reagans that were made in the 80s and stashed away in a bunker, and for some reason they've all become active and have nothing better to do than become scumdogs. Because what says 80s more than a cybernetic Ronald Reagan, right?
There is a request for you to please mention hairstyles.
Oh, thank you, Jefferson. I need you here. So the Deathbringer is our standard fighter class. Sadly, that's all they really are.
For some reason, I expected that to be a Terminator.
Ooh, a Terminator.
Or RoboCop or something.
So we do have a secret class that you hidden in the book somewhere, and it does pertain to RoboCop, but it's not RoboCop. Like legally speaking, it's not RoboCop. So then we have Dwarfling, which is our dwarf halfling class. I won't go through all of them, but there's I think
great though.
Oh, thank you. And then like there's like a war wizard, which is our wizard class and stuff. But there is I think 12 classes in the book. And we have a supplemental book, Riders of the Burp Warp, which brings I think 13 more classes into the game.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's like a giant elder space god burps a rip in space and time, and then all these other scumdogs from past, present, and future come into the game. And then the big thing, Jefferson, I won't forget about the hairstyle. So you do choose your own hairstyle in character creation, and each hairstyle has its own game mechanics. Because why not accessorize? So you can have your mullet or what other? There's like the synth weave and the Cindy and the faucet. So it's like your standard 80s 90s.
So what does a mullet get you?
See, you got me on the spot. I knew I should have kept it open.
Sorry.
I may. That's okay. I may have written it, but I don't remember it.
I feel that.
The mullet. So you gain an additional +1 to your attitude, which is our charisma. And then naming your mullet and talking about it grants an additional +1 to your attitude. So we do have
Nice.
a system of attitude. You have attitude and you have sleaze. Sleaze is your anti-charisma. So like essentially the higher your attitude, the more well liked you are in the humanoid sectors, and the higher your sleaze, the more respected you are in the wastelands with the mutants and all the monsters.
Did we touch on Mad Max when we were covering things that this was like?
No, because ironically, so I'm like super obsessed with 80s Italian post-apocalyptic movies, and like Mad Max, like it was Australian, obviously, but like I don't know, I'm not a huge Mad Max fan. Like I like it; it's part of the zeitgeist of post-apocalyptic media, but I don't really have I don't have vehicle rules yet, which is kind of weird. It's more along the lines of like Judge Dredd style apocalypse.
I was sort of thinking the most recent one, not the Furiosa one, but the movie. Just the sense of style with the crazy hair and the people, blowing flames out of guitars, and
Yeah.
I could see that fitting into this game the way
Oh,
you're.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You could play a Mad Max style game. It's just it's I don't really have the vehicle rules
I was
yet.
gonna say you'd have to make up all the vehicle rules.
Yeah, I did like a play test vehicle rules for the Patreon, but I got too much going on right now.
Oh,
That's like
oh, oh! This is the highest praise you're ever gonna get from my chat. Sounds fun. It almost makes me want to socialize with others long enough for a game or two.
yeah,
Hey.
you get that a lot. It's the
Oh, somebody
ultimate.
says the mullet should have a charisma penalty. I mean,
Never.
not in the 80s it didn't.
Yeah. Never. The mullet. Both of my kids have mullets. They're like obsessed with them, and they're like 6 and about to be 5.
Well, everything's coming back around now.
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna
crazy.
say, I think mullets are kind of having their moment, or at least they were last year. I don't know if that's still.
Yeah. No, there's still up here. I mean, hockey's huge up here, so like they're like hockey obsessed, and that's hockey hair.
Is it?
It's not called a mullet. It's hockey hair. Maybe the
Uh,
ice. I don't know. I don't get on the ice, but maybe it's to keep the your neck warm on the ice.
I guess I don't know enough about hockey. I just never would have connected mullets to hockey in my brain as
Yeah.
someone uninitiated.
I know it's
um,
as like a fan of the mullet naming, like the NASCAR sunscreen and the AC Slater, like all the funny names for mullets. Hockey hair always did come up, but like yeah, I don't know the correlation between hockey and a mullet.
I mean, it's one of those things that I would not have thought of, but it doesn't surprise me when I hear it.
Oh, 100%.
Um, Man, I'm like sitting here just kind of mulling over all of the like I said, I read so many games these days, either for editing or for, being on the show or for doing reviews, that when I hear something that's like very unique, much less two in the same evening, I get very excited.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how completely different yet kind of alike they are too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the fact that they're both punk games kind of
That
Though
helps.
helps.
I suddenly have a vision of, plants covered in neon colors, which would probably make them poisonous.
Or
Probably.
get you high if you smoke them or snort them.
Or some combination. I mean, two things could be true.
Very true.
You need to tell us what Neon Con is.
So I don't know if it was last year. I'm very bad with remembering literally anything, but we have done 2 online cons. We did Neon Con and Neon Con 2 The Revenge. And it's pretty much just over on the Neon Lords Discord. We all jump on and we play game. We play. You don't have to play Neon Lords. We let other games jump in. We just ask that it's an indie game. Like you're not playing like Dungeons and Dragons the whole time, which there's nothing wrong with that, but this is for us. And then we culminate each night with we all watch a movie together. So like the first one we watched Neon Maniacs because it's a movie that the name is the fans is based off of, and I don't remember what we watched the last. I know Jefferson's gonna kill me. I don't remember what we watched the last Neon Cons because we went. The first one was one day, and then we went to 2 days. We were supposed to do Neon Con 3, Neons in Space, but got busy with work, so sadly I couldn't do it. But Neon Con 3 will happen soonish.
All
Ish.
right. Uh, that leads to another question that I didn't think to ask either of you initially. Are either of these supported on any virtual tabletop platforms?
I don't have any official support yet, but I do have support coming for it's kind of a smaller tabletop. Let me double check that name there. Dice Weaver. So that is in the works. But right now, all of that is pretty much implemented by one guy. So my game's just kind of in the queue, and it will be implemented whenever it's implemented.
Yeah, I gotta remember the name too. So, I was using I think Role Play it was called, something like that. But then I met a guy at a con who was already doing Neon Lords, and we were been talking about doing it officially. Oh, Questline. Questline has our VTT.
Foundry. Correct answer is Foundry.
I don't know.
I really want to get like more VTT support out there, just to have as few barriers as possible for people. But it just seems like a whole project that I just don't even know where to start with.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
actually is. I do kind of wonder how that happens. I know. So Robert Schwab is here for an interview next week. He did the Shadow of the Demon Lord game, um, and he apparently writes ridiculously fast because I follow him, and I think he turns out a new supplement almost every week.
Dang.
Um, but
Wow.
it tends to take several months before they are then turned into. I don't normally do pre-made adventures, but he has one that's a series of adventures that kind of go together. And I'm very worried that it's going to be like a George Martin scenario. Like I'm going to run out of. I'm worried I am going to run out of the fact that I'm running people through this game before it. Was it a ninja movie?
I don't remember.
Uh, paper. I sincerely hope that by some weird coincidence it was Paper Tigers.
No, I can look. I don't remember. It was. I believe it was a ninja movie.
Paper Tigers is an indie film. Was put out a few years ago. Um, and one of the stars in it is also known elsewhere as a comedian called Master Ken, who makes fun of like McDojos, and it's very funny. And the movie was very good. And sneak peek, there's a possibility that he's going to do a We Watch with me of Paper Tigers. So
Very cool.
is playing an anthropomorphic goat an option in either of these games? Great question.
Sadly, not in mine, which I will admit is probably its greatest weakness at this point.
No, I do not have. So there is nar beasts. So they're kind of like goat men type thing, like from 40K. If you're into the chaotic goat men, so there's chaotic nar men, but they are not actual true goat.
I mean, neither am I. So
I mean, that sounds like a soft yes to me.
I mean, if I were an actual goat, I would have eaten this tie ages ago.
Oh, man, I don't. Oh, so Ninja Terminator was one of the movies. That was the first night was Ninja Terminator, and then the second night I don't gotta look.
Ooh, this is a multi-day thing.
Yeah, we did. The first day was one day, or the first one was one, and then we went to 2 days on Neon Con 2.
So that means Neocon 3 has to be 3 days, right?
If I had the time. Oh, so the second. So yeah, we did Ninja Terminator and TC 2000. Thank you, Jefferson. That is a Billy Blanks from Tai Bo fame. He had a short career in some action movies, and TC 2000 is one of my favorites, and he's in it, and we showed it. And Bolo Young from Enter the Dragon fame is a good guy in it, and generally he's like the bad guy. He's the bad guy in Enter the Dragon. He's a bad guy in Bloodsport as well. So it's always nice to see like an actor who's usually typecast as a villain be a good guy as well. That's my favorite.
Nice. It's also a little bit of a red herring for everyone who expects him to turn around and be the bad guy.
I know you generally think, okay, Bolo Young is good in the beginning. When's he going to turn bad? But he never does, and it's great.
Welcome, Witch Queen. Popping in with a question: would hardware be an inspiration for Neon Lords, or is that too dark for the setting?
Nope, it is 100% in there. Actually, I can show you there is an Easter egg in this addition to hardware, which you might not be able to see it
Good call, Witch Queen.
in the black and white, but there is a. So these tiles are in color.
Oh, hang on, I'm gonna blow you back up again.
Oh, okay, perfect. That'll help me see. Okay, so these tiles are in color when we did the Kickstarter, and then the helmet is colored to the robot in hardware. So he has like an American flag motif, I guess, if you will, painted on the top of the hardware.
I really love the art style that you've got going on in there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's like kind of like where the vomit punk, I guess, aesthetic is also like the artwork. Dang it, I wish I brought more stuff to show. I don't come prepared, but I'm here at least.
Eraser, did we ever find a link to the minis game? Has Eraser disappeared? Has there been a glitch in the machine?
Oh, there you go.
Witch Queen says, looks really cool. It does. They both look really cool. Yeah, and again, it's like so I am not normally a big art person. I have seen too many books and games that looked great and then were not. And I have read too many books where I mean, in most cases, the cover was missing because I got them from a used bookstore, but the book was wonderful. And so I try very hard not to like get sucked in by marketing because marketing usually just means somebody had more money than somebody else. But when I do like art, I tend to be a fan of like surrealistic stuff. So the fact that you have art styles that are so different and yet so enjoyable in their own way is really neat.
For me, like, even though art is wholly optional to making a good game, it was really important for me to like have some because solar punk is one of the lesser known punk genres. And so in my mind, like if I were making a fantasy game, people have seen so much fantasy media. They have kind of a visual library in their head, you know? So you really only need like maybe one or two pieces of art, if you need any at all, for people to be able to bring up kind of what the world should look like. And that doesn't really exist as much for solar punk. And so I paid for a lot of art out of pocket, and I'm also very blessed to have several close friends who are artists who did some very discounted or free in some cases for me. And so that was something that like I put more effort into making sure I had than I might otherwise have done.
Well, and I think more and more people are drawn in by visual stuff. I mean, we're visual creatures anyway, and then you add in the fact that we can't seem to pry ourselves away from our phones for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think we're becoming more and more driven by that kind of thing. So it's great. I mean, just because, okay, it's great marketing. I just happen to make a special point to try to not be any more influenced by marketing than I have to be.
No, I think that's really healthy, honestly.
um, well, it may be a lost cause, but we try. It's sort of like my phone is in the process of dying, and I've already said that when it finally, I hate waste, so I'm not going to throw it away. But when it finally dies, there will not be. I will no longer have a phone with a higher IQ than me. That is my goal.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like going to back to dumb phones as they call them now. Although, back in my day, they were just phones.
Brian, there is a series of questions or a series of statements that ended up, I think, in a question for you. Jefferson said +2 attitude for 6 shades. Molly said, do my normal shades count as 6 shades? They have neat frames. And Jefferson said, if the Neon Lord allows it. I did see you answer. I just wanted to read it out loud because I thought it was funny. I wonder what it has to actually like. How neat do your frames have to be? Mine are yellow, and supposedly I can sit on them without breaking them, but I have not put that to the test.
Oh no, are we down on sound again?
Is he?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Brian, you're out again. We got nothing. I think he can hear us, but we can't hear you.
That was like last time.
Oh, Molly has a neon pair. That beats my bright yellow. Brian, you have left us vocally again. You might have to pop out and pop back in again.
Where's Eraserhead here to be angry at Evie Mux?
Oh, he will be. Don't worry. Everything could go beautifully, and Eraser would still be mad at EB Mux. They did him dirty the first time he ever tried to do a show, and he's never forgiven them.
I admire the ability to hold that kind of grudge because I just don't have the energy.
He's young. We like to joke that we still don't have sound, really?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go. There we go.
I just want to cut you off. Sorry.
No. Yeah, we like to joke that most of the video games I play are older than Eraser. To be fair, most of the television shows he really likes are older than he is. So
that's the way to. You just know it's better back then.
all right. Well, considering that I don't want to put us through another sound blip, does anyone have any other questions? Things that you guys want us to know about your stuff? Brian, I would like, can you tell me again what the name of the minis thing is? I'm sorry, I'm dumb.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. I was going to say we might wrap up early so that we don't have to. He's got to have a loose wire or something. That is the only thing
Yeah.
that makes sense, is that there's got to be a wire that's getting jogged once in a while.
And here I thought I was going to be the sound problem.
Does anybody else remember what the name of the...
Yeah, it is Violence Action Cash Prizes.
I'm sorry, Violence what?
Violence Action Cash Prizes.
All right.
And the beauty
I'm making a note to myself.
It all fits in an A5 Trapper Keeper, which we call them battle binders. So they're like hole punched, and you can use your battle binder for your Violence Action Cash Prizes stuff, as well as Vastgrim has stuff in a battle binder now. And then we are also taking the Neon Lords aesthetic and world, and then I'm putting Morkborg rules to it and doing Neon Bastards, so it'll fit in a battle binder. So it'll be a series of zines that'll fit in the battle binder.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, what says 80s 90s? Then it's not a Trapper Keeper. but it is
Trapper Keeper is probably copyrighted.
100% is it's a Velcro enclosured 3-ring binder with art on it, and but it is called a battle binder, and it's smaller, so it's like the Morkborg's A5 size.
A5 is my favorite binder size. For just
Man, I'll
journals
tell
in
you,
general.
A5. It was hard because I really wanted to do the original book in A5, and then I got nervous because it's 250 pages, normal size. And I was scared that an A5 was going to be so big that I wouldn't be able to fit it. And then I could have did it in a bunch of different little zines and put them in a binder, and now that's what I'm doing. But Neon Lord's
learning as you go.
classic, yeah, exactly. But Neon Lord's classic is staying the same. Like we're not. It's going to be two separate like product lines, I guess. The technical term.
Is the minis game on your regular website, or is it?
No, it is not, because it's let's see if I can figure out where it is. I don't even know, because it wasn't my so it would be under Squirmish. I think it might be on Game Found. See, now it's not typing for me, but if you try Squirmish Game Found, like we were kind of like a
Game Right?
No, Game Found. It's like Game Found is like mostly a board game crowdfunding
That's also
platform.
where Helios
Oh,
is.
I see. There is a site called Game Right that sells board games, and there is a board game called Squirmish. And apparently, my search engine could not read my mind and realize that's not what I was looking for.
I think Eraserhead might have it. He's got it.
I told you he is.
He's good. Yeah. So
He has
Squirmish,
mastered the Google.
Google Foo is strong with this one. So there's that one, and then we are an add-on for the minis on that. But then we also have the mini standalone campaigns we've done on Backer Kit. So there's all that. There's tons of stuff.
I mean, the minis are pretty neat.
Yeah, Saul Blair did both the minis for the Neon Lord stuff, and he did the Squirmish ones. And he is phenomenal when it comes to sculpting. Like, I don't know how he does it. I wish I was that good at it, but
the art on the battle binders is amazing too.
So if it is the Squirmish proper, Brian Colin does his own art, and if you're looking at my battle binder, that artwork is I can't think of his name off the top of my head now. This is the second time I was on an interview, and
way down at the bottom it says Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland expansion. That's what we're looking at, right?
That is ours, yes.
Got the heavily muscled dog thing.
That is a sewer shark. So it is not a street shark, the popular cartoon from the 90s. It is trademarkly distinct as a sewer shark.
Yeah, these are cool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not even a minis person, and I'm now like,
yeah.
What can I run that I can put these into?
I know, right? You can run Neon Lords. It's perfect for it. It's almost as if they were made for the game.
That would in fact be awesome, but it has to go in the queue because I have a serious backlog of playtests people have asked me to do and reviews people have asked me to do that have to get done. So
I know that's the hard part of like, I don't get to like I buy a lot of games, but I don't get to actually play a lot of games. I have to pretty much play Neon Lords all the time.
Plus, it can be so hard to just get a group of people to play anything that isn't D&D or Pathfinder.
I don't know.
I keep hearing that, and I have not had any problem at all.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Good for you.
I don't have a problem, but like I also have like
You
a
have a
good
following.
yeah, I have a good following to where I can be like, hey, I'm going to run a game, and then I'll have people. So like, it's always
See,
good.
I come from a state where you have to drive 45 minutes to find a McDonald's. So therefore
Yeah,
people are quite willing to drive a couple of hours to spend an entire day gaming with me. So I'm very blessed that way.
And I
I
think in
usually have
general, oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say I usually have like my in-person games usually have several overlapping groups of 6 or 7 people and then, the occasional when they can make it types. So,
Yeah, I think in general, like, indie games have been getting a lot more uh, attention recently. I think there's been a little bit of a bloom going on because I think, there's been a lot of effort on our side to try to get people to branch out, and also I think people are just sick of Wizards of the Coast, so.
they're sick of Wizards of the Coast, and then once they start trying other things and they go, "Oh wow, actually, like there's a lot more you can do with role playing than just this one thing."
Yeah.
So, uh I apologize. I'm not certain how to pronounce your name, and I think it's probably not veal, which is what would my initial.
that's the goat in you thinking.
That would be my. That's the carnivore in me. Um, but please welcome. We're really happy to have you. Wish I could find anyone in my area to play with, much less play test my TTRPG. Well, I mean, I have a backlog, but I do official play tests. And I think everyone in my playtest group is over 20 years gaming, so lots of different
Playtest.
backgrounds.
You don't need a playtest. Balance is for the weak. Just swing for the fences.
Actually, the couple playtests we've done, it wasn't a balance issue. It was, what was the last one? Um, there was some stuff, it was for an adventure, and there was some stuff in the adventure that felt really forced.
Right.
And it was a mystery. And one of the people in my group actually used to be in law enforcement, which it was very apparent that the writer was not in law enforcement. And he immediately was like, no, the proper procedure is this, and this. Which is why, Quinn, I was very pleased when you were talking about all the research you'd done, because this person had not. And then there was, they put a dentist in because they wanted a doctor. And my background was in mental health before I started raising goats. And I was like, a psychiatrist would have fit in this so much better. so, so yes, balance is not always the thing. I also don't have that problem, mostly because I've started groups that are willing to play many different TTRPGs. I've never really played with anyone who wasn't into the weird games I like. Yeah, I made a comment once. I was talking about like all of the different games that my players liked and that I liked. And people in the group I was talking to were stunned. They were like, that is such a wide variety. Like, how did that happen? And I was like, we read a lot. We like different stuff and they tend to overlap. I don't know. But I mean, I run a lot of horror, but then I play all cartoony games. Uh,
I mean,
you
there's
know.
just so much out there. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
if you're not trying out new things, you're really missing out.
Well, and the other thing is everyone says, you play the game that you get used to, like you have time invested into and that you're used to playing. That is so weird to me because I bore really easily. Um, and the idea of, I mean, even like running a campaign that's too long, I tend to have to run a couple campaigns and I'm like, all right, we're going to play this for 6 months. Then we're going to go do something else for a while. And then we're going to go back to it for 6 months.
See, like, I think the problem, from what I've observed of just, like, people... I didn't have too much trouble playtesting my game because I'm kind of one of the resident DMs, and I was like, this is what I'm running now, either take it or leave it. Like, if you're gonna make me run the game, we're running what I want to run. But, I think one problem that, just in my observation, that people have is, like, I'm gonna rag on D&D a little bit. It's
Oh, that is so welcome here.
it
Feel
is
free.
so rule
Amazon
intense.
and Amazon and Wizards of the Coast are fair game here.
Good. Well, because D&D is like seen as, because it's got like such a huge presence. It's the place that people tend to enter to, which I think is terrible. I think it's the worst
Those
choice for a
McDonald's.
first RPG. And it's so rule intensive and it takes so long to learn that I think once people have learned it, if they've never tried anything else, they don't realize that like another game might actually be easier to learn than D&D was, and so it seems really daunting to like switch over. It's like if, in your head, if you've only ever learned the one thing and it took a long time and there's so many little fiddly rules, and that's what you think all RPGs are, learning something else seems really daunting and it seems easier to just hack the thing you already know. And
Is
I
is I have to pause you for a second. Is Jefferson an Amazon guy or a Wizards of the Coast guy?
He works at Wizards of the Coast. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like half the people on here have done work for Wizards of the Coast. That doesn't
No,
mean I don't.
he works on Dungeons and Dragons since the 90s. He's like
Oh wow.
I
one of
mean,
the
Robert
oldest.
Robert Schwab like worked on the last 3 editions, I think, and I still love his work. So
No, I mean I there's nothing wrong. I'm a huge D&D fan still to this day.
I'm in 2 active D&D games, so this is not like D&D hate. I just do think that this contributes to people being shy about trying other games.
I think
No,
it
I
does.
mean it makes sense.
And I don't like D&D. So um but so I have to tell everybody it's not that I don't like 5e, it's that I don't like the fact that it got overpowered. 5e itself as a system, that's why I like Shadow Dark. I mean, it's basically 5e that has had the overpowered stripped out of it. Um but I mean, Wizards of the Coast has done some shady stuff, so we can't. Um but yeah, no, I think having I've lost my train of thought. It's like food, if you only eat the same 2 things when you're a kid, you're gonna have really narrow tastes as you get older.
Yeah.
I think people that spend, the first 5 or 10 years with no, because a lot of it is that there's no access. There's no access to anything but D&D. I got very lucky because most of the people I play with played other games. So when I went to college and I got introduced to all of these other things, um, I think it just gave me a wider taste. It's not that I don't like fantasy anymore. I prefer to run horror, um, because I'm a weirdo like that. Um, but I like playing lighter games or fantasy games or um, I almost never play horror, mainly because no one's as weird as I am.
Yeah, I think it's like you were saying, like people just get used to what they're used to. And I think also like RPGs can be so many things. Like
Yep.
there's your adventure RPG like D&D, but then there's also solo journaling games and like murder mystery dinner parties, which I insist count.
Oh,
And like
absolutely true. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
LARPing.
yeah, like there's so many different things that RPGs can bring to the table. Um and I think a lot of people just don't realize that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jefferson, I have friends that would be so happy. I have a couple of friends who are super into champions, and the only genre I really don't like is superheroes. So they don't get to they don't get to play very often. Um, yeah, champions. And what was the other one that? There's another. Is there actually just a heroes game? I'm trying to remember what there else is for role playing.
Well, you
I know
got
the early one. The early one was villains and vigilantes.
Marvel has face rip or however you say it. Marvel superheroes one, and there's like a DC one. They had their own game. There's I could definitely see like that's like one genre I could see like superheroes being a hard one to run for sure because it's like how like what are the stakes? Like if you have like all the powers in the world, like I feel like it feels like it's just too much. Yeah, Jefferson nailed it. It's too narrow in focus. You need a GM who's super into comics. That's like a paranoia is like one of the one games I want to play so bad, but like I don't think I could run it. I think I
I love
need someone.
Paranoia.
Yeah.
I think Paranoia is the only commonly known game that I am taking to the next 2 conventions.
Oh, nice.
Um, it's going to PortCon with me, and I don't remember what the other one is, but I know I've got 2 convention games lined up for it. So
I have so many
'cause,
books of it, and I don't get to play it, and it makes me sad.
I have the second edition, and I have the most recent edition. I
I
don't
got.
have a lot of the stuff in between, mainly because it's such a crazy game that I've never found you needed many of the supplements. And
I just yeah, they're just
the
fun.
core book is crazy expensive considering it's only like 50 pages.
Yeah, I have the first edition, second edition, and XP edition.
I
It's
used
I just it's
XP. I
fun to
don't know
read.
what happened to it. I think I just got rid of it because I liked second better, and I wasn't running that much at the time. So
I want to respond to what's going on in the chat talking about superhero games here.
yeah,
Where Witch Queen says you can't do sandbox-based superhero games that well, if at all. And my immediate thought was, I think if you wanted to do like a like superhero game that wasn't like episodic mission focused and was more of that sandbox, you would have to make maintaining your everyday persona like a really important mechanic. So like you have all of these cool powers, but you also have to stay like under the radar of regular people, and that would be kind of how you'd balance it out, I think.
That'd be cool.
yeah. That's always what made a lot of superheroes interesting for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never found Superman all that interesting because once he enters the picture, there's no challenge. Um,
Right.
but when you have those, like the only thing that makes it, well, I shouldn't say that. The new Jeff Gunn movie, I'm gonna take crap in the chat for this one. I really liked the James Gunn because the first thing you see is the possibility that he can get injured. And considering I find him really boring most of the time, I thought that that was an interesting way to start out. Um, oh, now we're talking. Slay Industries is awesome. Love Slay Industries.
Oh, now you got
Slay
you know,
Industries was the second game I ever ran, I think, after the early editions of Cult. Yeah, Slay Industries is the bomb. I backed their second edition, um, and now I tend to just kind of mash the first and second edition together a lot, but but yeah, I don't think it's impossible to do. I mean, somebody told me today that Shadow Dark couldn't be done as a campaign game because it's too dungeon crawly, and I was like, well, I've done it, so I know it can be done. It's
any
just a
game.
matter of
Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
thinking outside the box a little bit.
any game could be a campaign.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna that might be a hot take for some people, but and I believe that any game could be a campaign. Why not?
Well, I mean, even early on where campaigns weren't necessarily a thing in the same way they are now, mega dungeons were a thing, and that was basically a campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
It is. Like
um,
look at Diablo. They made a whole franchise about mega dungeons.
it is about quarter of. I do want to make sure that we get wrapped up. We did sidetrack some, but I think the conversation was great, and thank you to the chat for adding to that. Any last minute questions? Any last minute things you thought of and gone, oh, I should have mentioned that about my game?
I think I
I hear
overshared.
crickets. Huh?
Nope.
I overshared. I think so. I'm good.
I guess I just want to circle back and talk about the dice system in Heliosail because that was a question you asked Brian, and then you hadn't asked me, and so I didn't think to share it. But Heliosail's dice system runs on 3 8-sided dice, and it
Interesting.
is an original. It's a rollover system, so you do have like a DC you're trying to meet or exceed. Um, but it uses the same kind of 3 dice bell curve that like GURPS uses. except it's on D8s instead of D6s. And when we do kind of have our own advantage disadvantage system, I call it luck. And you roll 4 D8s and then drop either the highest or lowest accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that was the only
Yeah,
other thing
that's
I wanted to
interesting.
share.
D8 systems are not tremendously common, so that's kind of interesting.
No, but there's a couple of us out there. It's funny because it actually started as a D6 system, but I needed kind of more points of graduation when I was starting to do like damage and weapons and stuff like that, because when you're working on a scale of 6, you just don't have that much to work with. And so I had to bump it up.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to think now. I think I'd have to dig all my 8s are probably all at the bottom of my dice bag because they don't get to very much use.
Don't play a lot of paladins, huh?
Well, I
Well,
mean,
you
I
said you don't
run.
like D&D, so
Well, I run a lot. I'm the GM most of the time, so.
yeah.
Um, Lance from the Outcast Creative popping in to give you a like. Lance, thank you so much. If anyone is unfamiliar with the Outcast Creative, he does a lot of interviews with um, movie directors and movie stars and theater people, and very, very cool show. So,
Very cool.
Awesome.
all right, so let's start wrapping up a little bit. Quinn, if you want to tell us where we can find you, if you've got anything coming up in the near future, all the goodies.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find lots of information about Heliosail and a lot of content for it at heliosailgame.com. You can also find more about me and my other projects at quinsilver.com. And Heliosail is still in late pledge, so if you want to get a physical copy, you can still do that. I think Eraserhead had the link for that early on. Maybe that could get popped back in the chat there. But it is up on GameFound, so if you just search Heliosail on GameFound, it'll pop right up there. I'm also on the socials, usually at Heliosail on whatever social. My main ones are like Instagram and Blue Sky.
I was going to say, I know you're on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Discord, because that's where I met you.
Yep, and Discord.
All right. Get the last link up there. All right, Brian.
Yeah, so pretty much the same. Really, like Discord, um, like neonlords.com. You could buy, if you're looking for a copy, they're everywhere. You could buy them on the Amazon has some, sadly. I'm not a huge Amazon fan. Being a mail carrier, I got to deal with Amazon, but that's a whole nother story. But I also have a Patreon, Knights of the Slime Table. So if you were a fan of the BK Kids Club, it's kind of the same thing. Like it's like a fan club type thing. We have we do an adventure every month, which we turn into. Remember Disney Adventures magazine? No, so it's
Uh, yeah,
a
sorry, I was
oh,
trying to answer a message. We had somebody who was talking about superheroes, and
no, so we've converted it over to every month. It's Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland Adventures with a Z. It's kind of like the
Mhm.
Disney Adventures, like digest size zine every month. In the Patreon, there's the link to the Patreon,
I'm really
and
happy to see zines getting a new life too.
yeah, it's fun. I mean, zines is one of the best formats because you can print a ton out for dirt cheap and then like sell them, for a couple bucks and not have to worry about it unlike a hardcover where it's like, well, I gotta make my money back because I mean they're expensive to make. But yeah, so neonlords.com, the Patreon, Discord. We have a pop in Discord. We run games, try to run games every Thursday. There's always a game available every Thursday. If people sign up or not is another question, but we try to get games going.
And Eraser found Quinn's website.
Hey.
Very nice.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. I am the Eclectic Goat. I am on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, probably forgetting something, as the Eclectic Goat. You can find me in my little green suit. We have kind of a crazy few weeks coming up. Tomorrow, I am going to be on Jacob Ironside's show talking about my favorite X-Files episode ever. Next Monday, we have a topics panel on the anatomy of horror. What exactly is needed for a good horror game or a good horror story? Hey, Rio. Better late than never. We are happy to see you here. Napping is good, especially since you said you retired this morning. We have Barlow Keep, who introduced me to a couple of horror games I'd never heard of, who is also a fellow fan of the early cult. Huckleberry, who wrote the game Huckleberry, which is a kind of horror, weird west kind of game. And Gabrielle, who is also a creator of horror games. So that ought to be great. And then the day after, which I don't usually do Tuesdays, but Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we have Robert Schwab from Shadow the Demon Lord, as well as umpteen million other games. I think he's written for like freaking everyone. He's done some Judge Dredd stuff. He's done some Warhammer fantasy roleplay stuff. He's done some Dark Heresy stuff. He's done some Numenera stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, he is all over the place. And Shadow the Demon Lord is probably one of my favorite. It is definitely my favorite dark fantasy game. And it is probably one of my two favorite games to teach people how to roleplay on. Because the rules are so simple and the role play is so heavy. It's a really great game. So I'm incredibly excited. So amusingly, I had all of these goals for January, and when I got them done, I was on Facebook and I like had this little checklist. You know, I did this, I did this, I did this. Now I need a new goal. And as a joke, I tagged him and said, "How many subs do I have to hit to get you to come on my show?" And he responded within an hour and said, "Pick a date."
That's so wholesome.
So this is incredibly exciting for me. Like I said, I may have Matt Page, aka Master Ken, for anyone who's familiar with him, coming on to do a wee watch with Paper Tigers in the future. And I finally get to officially announce that. Let's see, I gotta find the exact date here. April 13th, I am going to be doing a topics panel on 1970s role playing history. And the panel is going to be made up of Scott Robinson, who is the author of Bunnies and Burrows. It came out in 1976. This is its 50th year. Mark Miller, who wrote Traveler, one of the first science fiction role playing games ever put out, and it's still in production. He's still writing it, he's still putting out editions. And Jeff D., who is one of the authors of Villains and Vigilantes, which is the second superhero game ever put out. So that is going to be huge. So if you haven't subbed, please do so, so that you don't miss it. I'll be putting out announcements, but yeah, very excited. We do have memberships up. Like I said, we're going to be stockpiling any membership fees so that we can go to Page and make some new videos for everyone. And that is also going to be incredibly nerve-wracking. I don't travel well. Yes, he is very awesome. There are not many people out there that would just be like, "Sure, I know you're a small channel, but we'll do it anyway." I've been just incredibly blessed in the last month with all the people willing to come on, so including you guys. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but that is everything I see on my schedule. I know I never did finish Watership Down in January, but I promise it's going to get done. I am doing a hashtag the book is better for Watership Down, comparing the book and the movie, which apparently also the movie is its 50th anniversary, which I had not thought of at the time. But so yes, Hanayama-san was here. He announces his entrance and his exit. We love you, Hanayama-san. All right. Well, thank you very much to the chat. Thank you very much to the panel. This has been wonderful. We did get a little off the beaten path, but only in good ways. So it was a great show.
Thanks
Thank
so
you to
much for
everyone,
having me.
Yeah, thanks
and
for having me.
happy headbutting.
Eclectic Goat's got videos of indie authors and cinema love. A passion for the weird and the strange. She's snappily dressed and only slightly deranged. Come and meet the Eclectic Goat, lover of classics and whiskey notes, disciple of horror and the written word. Happy headbutting, come join the herd. Shows might be a little improper. We've got real zombie, fake whizzes the otter, pizza in one hoof, glass in the other, deciding which role-playing games we will cover. Come and meet the Eclectic Goat, lover of classics and whiskey notes, disciple of horror and the written word. Happy headbutting, come join the herd. Got a thing for black and white screens, crappy horror with low budget scenes. Choose on the history, spits out the law. Time for another whiskey pour. Come and meet the Eclectic Goat, lover of classics and whiskey notes, disciple of horror and the written word. Happy headbutting, come join the